Hey guys, Toby here for PROEDGE Trading. We had a really choppy, whippy, wiki day today, but luckily we're trading the EdgeRunner 1 minute PROEDGE bars with our 1 minute rip trades. These work really well for chop, and of course they work good for trending days. So this is a trade you guys need to have in your arsenal. I took 3 or 4 today. We're gonna see how they played out, and just remember, the EdgeRunner gets all its calculations from the PROEDGE bars. So when you see these trades, just keep in mind that the edge band that we're using, the bars, the closes in their location, the bodies of the bars, things like that all come into play. So that's where the EdgeRunner shines. But here we go. We take these at the close. But here's our first trade coming up. And I'll go over some of these with you on the actual charts here in a second. But this is our first trade. I didn't have the sound on, so you're not going to hear the entries, but here's our first trade. We hit our first target. I'm moving to break even. I don't think I have the ATM going to break even on the second contract, but I moved it manually. But there we go, our first trade, winner. And just remember these, you take one of these trades per direction. In the direction change is defined by the closes around the edge bands. And I'll show you again after these trades play out. Now this ES trade I just got in, that was a bad trade. I did that wrong. That was a bad trade. I'm going to tell you why here in a minute. But here's the we're in this queue also. In that ES almost got us because of what I did there. So the Q's won. It's done its thing like it's supposed to. The ES looked like it was going to it first. It almost gets us because I messed up on that trade. And I'm trying to play with these runners. Sometimes you can get lucky. Day like today, it was tough. You see that ES just almost got us. I'll show you what I did wrong. But it did make it. I think I bailed out of it. Yeah, I may have just closed that one. I was worried. Or no, come back and hit our break even. But you can see I marked it with an X. That was a bad trade. And then so we've taken 3. Looks like we took one on the RTY there also. It got fast forwarded past it, but I'll go over some of these with you anyway. Here's another one in the ES. That one was done correctly. There we go. I also don't have the ATM set up on that second contract, so I moved it manually. But if you wouldn't mess with these runners, you get your first target real easy. I just mess with these runners. And I thought this ES was just going to shoot down, but I don't think it does. Thought we were going to get a big old long candle right there, but That one come back on us. But that was on my trades. What was that? Four or five maybe. And yeah, I stopped there. You know, like I always say, you get one trade, you can stop, but get 2, 3, 4 winners in a row, call it. Market was acting really wonky today anyway. So I stopped there, but we'll go over some of these in more detail so you can see what I did and kind of my thought process. Okay, here's that MNQ trade. And I marked this one also. So as you're coming in here, you know, I kind of stay out of this whipsaw in the beginning. And so as we're coming along here, you remember what we're looking for: higher high, higher high, higher high. Just keeps going. I don't know why that's on there. And then we're looking here now. Here's our highest high. Now here we're looking for a lower close below this close, because this is our highest high in this sequence, in which we don't get. So now here's our next highest high. You know, we never got one. In the process of not getting a close below this one, we got a higher high. And so here's a higher high. And it just keeps going up, 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 up. We never get a lower high. You know, this one, we kind of got reset because it came up before we could get anything lower and lower. We got a higher one. And then this higher one just kept going up, up, up. You'll finally here, got this high, this close, lower high, lower close, and that's right where I got in. You can see that arrow right there. That's right where I got in, and then you saw the trade, and that was the NQ. I think that's the only one I took on the NQ. If we want to look, so we started here. If you want to look at this mess right here, you'd open, obviously nothing here, so you come down. Here you got a lower low, but not a lower close, or not a higher close. You need close up here. Then you got another one, so that kind of resets our count. You got another one. Now you got this one here, which is obviously a higher low and a higher close, but it's on the other side of the edge band, so that doesn't count. So now we're actually resetting this way, higher, 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 higher. You got this one here. You got lower high, lower close. You get in somewhere half, since it's above, you want to get in somewhere half of this body. And let's see what that would have been, say 95. You'd actually be in here, be right on this candle, 95. So it made it right here, 95-ish, 01. So it made it here, and you're going to have a 20-point stop. So we're looking for 74. See if it's close. It's close, because you would have been in somewhere in here, halfway of this candle. So it's close. But I stay out of this first, 15, 20 minutes. It's just when it's doing this. I just wanted to show you as an example.
Sell down. Sell down.
Then going the other way. You also want to flip, which we have. We did have. Technically, this is valid, but it's 8:40. You want to wait 15, 20 minutes, wait for things to settle out. But I'm just showing you the process. So here we go. This is going back up. So right here, lower, lower, lower. You got a lower, you got a higher low, higher close. And that looks like it's already probably halfway on the total of this candle. It's probably midway already. You get in right there, that's 69. Looking for 64, so that obviously made it. I'm not saying trade this first 15, 20 minutes, but if you did, just kind of going through the process. And then it's just a mess going back and forth. You're not gonna get a count here. And then we counted these out. So that was the Q. But like I said, I waited through all that, didn't trade that. That ES, let me show you what I did wrong. We'll go this ES one and then we'll call it. Okay. So what I should have done, in this riffraff, kind of same way, we can go through it real quick, just for practice. So here's a lower wick. So none of this counts. You know, here's the lowest wick and there's nothing below that. But going the other way, higher, higher. This is a lower high, lower close. Get in somewhere half of this candle, which would be right there. That's obviously a winner. But like I said, it is kind of risky trading right here in the open. So that's a winner. Now you would wait for a direction change, which you don't really get. You know, you need a good flip. You don't really get. This one's iffy in real time. That may not even be there. So really, we don't get anything anyway until you get about here. See, higher, 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 and then bam, you get obviously a lower high, a lower close. That was your trade. I missed it, but that was your perfect trade. On the ES, we're going for 8 ticks, 4 ticks, a point basically. 71, 72, 25. So there's your win. Stop's going to be 4 below that. 67. Yeah, so you're good. So there's your win. That was a perfect trade. I saw this happen, higher high, higher high. And then I took this one right here. I was a little late either way, but this is not above the edge band. This is why I tell you don't take these, because look what happened. You know, I got lucky, almost hit me, a tick or two away, come back up and got me out. But that's why you don't do that. And I just messed that one up. This other one I took, let's see if there's any in here. This is just a mess. You know, you need a flip of the edge band. Let's see, lower, you know, this one, but it's above the edge band, so that doesn't count. Lower. This one, it's not horrible. You know, this is not really defined, but it's not horrible. So here's your low, your higher low, higher close. Get in here somewhere halfway of this candle. And there's your win, 70, made a point. You'd be up here at 74, so you got a win there. Going this way, go up, up, up. Here's our highest high. Here's our close here. And you don't get you get a lower high. Those might even be equal tops, so those don't count. But either way, you don't have a close below this close. So now we're going this way, lower, lower, lower. This is iffy. You don't have a flip yet. That's why I didn't take it. You really need a flip of the edge band. But if you took that one, obviously that's a winner. And then So we didn't take that one, so we're kind of resetting. This is still our trigger, our suspect candle. You know, that's the lowest low. That one's lower. This one is a hair tick higher. Close obviously higher. That's where I got in. And there's the win. You know, this was a correct trade. This was not correct. This was perfect. This one was good. So you see kind of how it works in a thought process. And at this point, I had taken 3 or 4. I think I took 4.
Sell down.
All right, here's one on the Y.
Sell down.
Kind of same thing, you know, stay out of this riffraff here. We come in, it's 8:45. I'm watching this up, 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 up. And then we get this lower high, lower close. It's within, you know, it's really close to the midpoint. I jump in. Here's my win. And then just to show you going this way, here's our going back down low, 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 higher close. Got the flip, could have got in here. There's your win. It's on the, well, yeah, that's pretty much the midpoint. Really close. Either way is a win. We're going for 10 ticks. So say 4,600. We need
Sell
90.
down.
Yeah, so even if you got in at 98, 97, what is this? 96. And got 96, 86. Yeah, you would have been good there. And then I don't know why I got that marked either. But that was your trade on the Y. This is not good enough for a reset. So you have to wait. And just went down all day. And at this point, you're done trading. If we did mess with this one, higher, 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 lower, that's not a flip yet. We gotta wait on this one. That's not lower. It's higher, 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 higher. This one's lower and lower. Really close to midpoint. If you didn't get in right then, you get in on this wick right here. That's a winner. So, but yeah, that's pretty much how the process works. Only take one per leg. Just take the first one. Preferably the first one. If you miss it, you know, you go for the second one, but try to stay for the first one on each flip. And yeah, that's the 1 minute rip trades. They work really well. Chop, no chop, doesn't really matter. Just stick with the rules. And that's manually trading the EdgeRunner. And not bad for a Monday. A lot of times Mondays are bad, so we'll try it again tomorrow. But yeah, I was happy with that. It was like 450, 500. So, but I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you on the charts tomorrow.